All right, guys. So, great episode we just wrapped up here, and we did a segment a couple of weeks ago here. We're going to experiment with this a little bit more here, but just some random Gen X questions. And some of these we've been posting in some various Facebook groups that we're in and our own page to generate some conversation and some interest. And by the way, if any of you out there have a suggestion, you want to hear us talk about some stuff, you want to comment as well, certainly
Yeah.
you can post on our page. It Came From GenX on Facebook. Email us at itcamefromgenx330@gmail.com. Post on our social media out there. Love to see some discussion topics and all of that. But I was out this past weekend with my lovely girlfriend Allie, and we drove past a former country kitchen building. It just made me stop and reflect. The country kitchen. I don't know if there's any around anymore, but there certainly was a few back in the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
when we were in our younger days going out to the bars and all of that. So I posted a question out there. Have you ever eaten at a country kitchen at 3 a.m. after closing time? And if not, what are some places that you like to frequent after closing down a bar or whatever you were doing out having fun on a weekend night and all that? So that's the question. What was your place or places of choice? Late evening dining. So, Skinner, why don't we start with you? I'm sure Keith's got a couple of stories here. I'm pretty certain.
I'm sure he does. I think the last country kitchen in our area was over there across from City Hospital. I don't think
Yes,
it's there anymore, but I
I don't
remember
think
that
so.
was even open up into the late '90s, early 2000s.
There was one
Um,
down by Swenson's on Cocker Falls Avenue too.
yeah, we
Okay.
knew you would know where you had those all pinpointed for. You
Oh
went from
yeah.
you went from Crossroads right straight to there for dinner, didn't
You have no idea.
you? I frequented two places. Luigi's was one of them because they were open till 4
Yes,
a.m.
yes,
And the other
yes.
one was Denny's at Chapel Hill, or not Chapel Hill, at Rolling Acres. I was
Oh
there a
boy.
lot at that one up on Rolling Acres after hours. It was close to home, both of them close to home. So those were my two places growing up.
Yeah, good
Wow.
stuff. I've been to both of those locations. That's for sure. Over time, absolutely. Keith,
Yeah.
what about you?
Well, when I was a kid, when we had church service at night,
Hmm.
and one of the places we like to go was a place that's no longer there called Jack Horner's. Over,
I
Oh,
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know that place.
on Market Street, across from the old Night Miss Phase 2 club, right by the expressway. There, this was a
Hmm.
real popular place to go eat. And when I became an adult and started playing in bands old enough to get in clubs, especially over there, that same Market Street area. When we got out of the club, there was no place to go other than Country Kitchen.
Hmm.
And man, the stories that I could tell you there, all the bars let out came to that place. You
Yeah.
talk about freak city, man. I
Wow.
Yeah.
mean, I've seen it all there. We would be in there, uh, you know what, to the bejeebus, and I saw every character you could think of.
Oh yeah.
People who were out of their gourd, falling out on the floor, passing out in booths. And it was just a hysterical time. I can tell you some great stories there. My first band, Beyond the Vaughn, used to go there every single night to eat. As a matter of fact, that's where we got the name of the band, Beyond Devon. Our waitress, her name was Devonna. And she came over and
Ah.
she said, "What are you guys doing?" We said, "We're trying to come up with a name for our band." She goes, "Well, name it after me." And we said, "What's your name?" She goes, "Devonna." We said, "Okay, well, we're beyond that." And we said, "Well, Beyond Devon." So a little story for those of you who know Beyond Devon. But yeah, we used to go to Country Kitchen every single night. And Country Kitchen became, I can't think of what it turned into, something, another kitchen, or country something else. It
Yeah.
eludes me. They transformed into something else. Then they phased into IHOP and got bought out. But
Yeah.
man, had great stories, great nights at Country Kitchen. You would eat because you were so drunk, and then after you ate, you would pass out in the booth. You'd have to go home, which really sucked in the wintertime. Nobody wanted to leave, but we sat in them up till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, and I'll say with those, bless you, servers, cooks. everybody that had to work those
The late
late
night
Yes,
shifts.
I
hours.
apologize.
Yeah, you knew. I'm sure what you were getting into, and it's just they were just folks trying to make a living like anybody else here, and they folks were so patient and kind, and
And
man, oh man, and a
and
lot of
they knew
people on
which
those.
nights to
Go ahead.
work. I'm sorry, they
Yeah.
probably knew which
Yeah.
nights to work. I am not working Monday nights because this particular bar is going to have nothing but drunks throwing up. They knew
Some of
which
the
night to work.
greatest, some of the greatest servers ever worked there. People I'll
Yes.
never forget. I remember going in one night with my ex-wife and her best friend, and they both went in with me arm in arm, and we both sat in the same booth. And we told the server that we just got back from Vegas, and I married both of them.
Mhm.
And we kept making up stories. We were feeding off of each other. It was brilliant. Everybody in the kitchen came out to see us, man. It was great.
At the time, it's of course a lot of food is very good at that time of night, but the
Yeah, better
country
believe it.
they had I remember they had a very good menu, but you're right, man. The cast of characters at that time of night was really something to behold,
Yeah.
and you went almost for the experience of seeing who
Yeah.
you were going to
It was great.
see at that time. But you're right, you see a lot of band members and just people, all kinds of
Yeah.
interests and everything else are going to that place at that late in the evening here, and actually,
Yeah.
if I were
But,
decent food as well, I remember.
yeah, it was great. That was the first time I had a supreme omelet. I used to eat them all the time.
Oh yeah,
Country Kitchens was the first place I ever got one of those. And
yep.
I also had an experience I never forget in the '90s when I had the long braids and wore the leather jacket, and I kept getting mistaken for Corey Glover of Living Color.
Sure.
And we would go to some of the places, not in Akron maybe, and they would, your food is on us, on the house and things like that, and people wanted me to sign stuff. So the late night, in the middle of the night crowd, that's a whole nother life. And it
Yep.
is a weird time for people, man. There was a great song back in the early '80s, man. The freaks come out at night. It is so
Yep.
true.
That's right. Now, did you sign Corey Glover's autograph? Did you write his name?
I never signed anything. I told him I wasn't Corey Glover,
Okay.
But it
Okay.
happened a lot. I even won a costume contest, being Corey Glover, and didn't even try to dress up. And now he's dating my cousin.
Really?
Yeah, he dates my
How
cousin.
about that?
Man, my Uncle
world.
Sam has performed with him
Yep.
several times. Yeah.
That's
Matter of fact,
terrific.
you go on YouTube and pull it up. Sam Moore,
Nope.
Corey Glover. Yep.
No kidding.
How about that?
Yep.
No kidding. That's terrific. And I don't know if you guys ever the lantern or the lamppost. Excuse
The
me.
lamppost.
Over in the lamppost over in Ellet.
Down the street. Oh, yeah. Okay. Like you meant the
Remember that?
lantern. Yeah.
I may be saying it wrong. It's either the lamppost or the lantern.
It was
No,
a lamppost. The one you're
The
talking
lamppost. The
about.
lantern's
Lamppost.
over here by me on Copley
Okay.
Road. Okay. No,
Okay,
it's
this
the
is
lamppost.
This was East Market in Akron. They served this. I'm sure they still have it because it's still open today. The He-Man breakfast.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Did you ever experience the He-Man breakfast?
I tried
I
it
don't-
once.
I ate at the lamppost for my first time about 5 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't have experience there.
This
But-
thing came out at the time. It was on a pizza pan, like a large pizza pan tray. Okay, for one person. Okay?
Stop it.
Well, obviously you could share it if you wanted to, but we
No, I ain't
didn't.
gonna
But
share.
a couple of us would get his own He-Man. This thing was filled to the brim with all kinds of breakfast goodness. Just almost
Wow.
anything you could think of was on this platter. And I tell you what, at 3 or 3:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
that's some of the best eating
Well,
I've ever
let's face it.
experienced.
If you're at a
Yes.
restaurant 3 in the morning, you're obviously feeling some kind of way. So
Sure.
you're going to eat a little bit. Another famous place at 3:00 in the morning. There's a place on Arlington Street called the Corral.
Oh yes,
What's
And that place would go, people would get a sandwich called a Nightmare.
yes,
And
I wish
you
that
would see
place was still open today.
you see some characters there too.
it is. It is.
It's
I
not.
believe.
Is it the same as it was growing up? Because my mom used
pretty
to
much,
take
yeah.
us there all the time.
It's still going.
Yeah, it's higher price than you might think it is, and all that. But I remember back when I was a teenager, my dad would go to the corral. So when Dad and Mom would go out, I used to kind of get a little excited as I'd be home as a teenage kid, hanging out, doing my thing, whatever it was. But there's a very high chance, if it is the later that it got, and Mom and Dad were still out, Dad was going to roll home with a bag of greasy goodness from the corral with the onion rings and all that type of stuff.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, good stuff there. So, anyway, all right, good stuff there. So, yeah, we saw all kinds of different posts with Denny's and Perkins, and a lot of people had some unique places they went to. But yeah, just good stuff. I don't remember the last time. Did you recall the last time that you had any type of a meal after 2 a.m.? Do you recall? I don't know the
Yeah,
last time I've done
last
that.
night.
Go ahead.
Last night, right? Right here in my kitchen. What are you talking about? What do you mean remember?
Let's say going out. How about that?
Oh
The last
gosh.
time you sat in a restaurant
Whoa,
after
that's
2 a.m. Do you remember the last time that was?
Obviously my life is different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
I spent years obviously in bands, and I ran a bar for several years, and that was my life. That's not my life anymore. 2 or 3 a.m. I'm in the bed. Might not be sleep. I'm in the bed or the kitchen. So it's been a long time for me. Probably 2004.
Oh wow, Skid, how
No,
about you?
before that.
Go ahead. Before that, before
Yeah.
early
probably
2000s.
the last
Earlier
time I
than that.
went out and ate after 2 a.m. was probably with Porter. That's how long it's been.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's been that long for me too. So the last time I ate after 2 a.m. was probably about 6-7 years ago when you may not remember friends their house flooded from they're here in Cuyahoga Falls, and they called me late at night about 11:30 saying, man, we don't know what to do. Can you come help? So this is 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So we went out there. We had to pull carpet and all this stuff. And by about 2:30, we got everything out of the house, and the water finally had subsided. They live just down from Portage Crossing at the theater.
Okay.
Anyway, they're like, you guys hungry? I'm like, after all this work I just did?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So we went to Chapel Hill, and that place is no longer there. Right on the corner of Howe Avenue and Home Avenue. In front of
Eaton Park.
It's an
Park.
Eaton Park now.
Yeah.
There it is.
I never said that title.
It was like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. We ate there. That was about 6 years ago.
Okay, two things I wanted to say real quick. Number one, I meant to say I agree with you. Your girlfriend Allie is lovely. I want to say hi to her.
Thank you.
I would just had this conversation with my family the other day. There's a certain kind of person that's out between the hours of 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. It's a whole nother world. When I was out there in the world like that, you could find a full house at 5 a.m. Anywhere. I knew where the places where the parties were. Not my life anymore, thank God. But it's a different kind of person that's out during those hours. I haven't been a part of that world in 20 years, so been a long time.
Yeah, we'll have to share some other stories at some of those.
I would love to share some with you guys
on another time.
Some I can't tell online. So
I have only got one thing to say: is the broom closet. I don't think I need to say any more.
There you go.
I'm gonna let that one go.
If you're listening out there, watching out there, we're interested in your commentary. What are some your favorite memories and places that you've eaten at, and stories and stuff at late evening at dining? Share those with us. We would appreciate seeing those and reliving some old memories like that. So, and thank you again to all you hardworking third shift servers, cooks.
I want to add something real quick.
Everybody.
A lot of bars got smart. A lot of the bars got smart over the years and added kitchens to their bars and started serving food. Kept that money in the house. I saw that trend happen too.
Absolutely. You're right. Yep. No question about it. All right, guys. That's all I had. So thank you for your thoughts and memories.
Very good.
Tune in next week to our next episode. We appreciate the support. Look for us again on the Came From GenX.
Don't make me arrest you.